Welcome to the Urban Griot. I'm Rebecca, and my guest today is one of Tulsa's favorite sons, Allan Heinberg. His credits include writing and producing The Naked Truth, Part of 5, Sex and the City, Gilmore Girls, The OC, and Grey's Anatomy. He also wrote the groundbreaking Young Avengers for Marvel Comics. Before that, he appeared in the Broadway cast of Laughter on 23rd Floor. Welcome, Allan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, tell me, Allan, how did you get started in the business?
I got started here in Tulsa as a 10-year-old. I knew what I wanted to do was sing and act and essentially be on Broadway. And I was reading the Tulsa World as a 10-year-old, and I saw that there were open auditions for a production of Oliver at Tulsa University. So I talked my mom into taking me down to the auditions, and I sang a song from Annie, which had just premiered on Broadway at the time. And I got the part of Oliver, and I've been in show business ever since.
Wow, so you're actually an actor first.
I started as an actor, and I worked here in town until I left Tulsa at 17. I worked with Theater Tulsa, with Teens for Theater Tulsa, with American Theater Company. I did a lot of work here in Tulsa as an actor.
Wow. Now, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment thus far?
The thing I'm sort of the most proud of, I guess, is launching this comic book for Marvel Comics. About 6 years ago, they asked me to create a series for them. So I created a team of teenage superheroes, part of the Avengers family, called the Young Avengers. And that's probably the thing that's closest to my heart. It's the thing that's the most me, I think, of anything I've worked on.
Now, being a native of Tulsa, and you are a Booker T. Washington graduate, would you say that being from Tulsa, did it have any impact, influence of you knowing, 1 out of 10 students knows what they want to do, and they go on to become it?
Yeah, it definitely had a profound influence on me. It was very, it was rare to meet somebody else who sort of was as focused as I was, especially in Tulsa. But I have to say, a lot of the people who really mentored me and helped me were the adults I met in Tulsa, were the teachers that I had in high school and junior high, and the adults I met doing theater in Tulsa. It's sort of an interesting place to come from because in many ways, statistically, Tulsa is the most normal demographically city in the country. It's right in the middle, and the demographics, the consumer demographics, sort of represent the nation as a whole. Right. So to sort of have an experience of that kind of culture, to be from that culture, but to have a mindset that's a little bit outside of it, I think was good for me. It was good for me to be inside and outside at the same time.
So did it actually influence your writing, being from such a normal, when we look at TV, and film, and it's outside the box?
Yeah, I think it did. My first play that was off Broadway was about growing up in Tulsa. It was essentially about my family's life in Tulsa and the disparity between what it's like to live in a normal town like Tulsa with other normal people, and then what's going on just underneath the surface of all our lives, of everybody's normal life, which is a little more dramatic and a little more secretive and a little more passionate and fraught. So that's really what TV is all about. It comes at you in your living room, in normal cities and in towns all across the United States, but we're looking inside people's past their normal life, the lives that they show to their friends and neighbors, into their sort of deepest hearts. And I think growing up in Tulsa and sort of seeing that for myself in my own family and in my own relationships definitely influenced the way that I dramatize them on TV.
Wow. Now, what projects are you working on this year?
This year, I left Grey's Anatomy in May, and I'm developing a new show for HBO based on a book, on a memoir. And then I'm currently developing a show with the BBC in the UK, and we are taking it to networks right now to see if we're going to find a home on a major broadcast network.
Now, tell us about the memoir.
Well, there's been no official announcement yet, so I'm not really allowed to say, but it was a New York Times bestseller this past year. It just came out in paperback. It's frustrating that I can't tell you what it is, but it's I'm really looking forward to this project. I'm really in love with it. It's about our relationship with food. I'll be able to tell you that.
Really?
Yeah, it's about the role that food plays in our families as we grow up, and then the role it plays in our lives as adults, and restaurant culture and chef culture and
Ooh,
celebrity
I'm
chef
interested
culture.
in that.
I hope everybody will be. So
Wow.
yeah, it's sort of about, because never in our country's history have we been more obsessed with food and with celebrity chefs, but at the same time, we're very body obsessed and we're really interested in how to lose weight and how to look our best. So those two things are sort of coming into conflict, and that's right where our show, this new show, sort of lives. So it's hoping to open up that conversation about how people really feel about food and their relationship to their body.
Now, you have hit the mark by being in almost every area of the media. I mean, when you think of film, TV, you've done it all. Is there anything that you haven't done that you're really searching or saying, hey, I'm going to be there?
I tend to think of it in terms of the stories that I have yet to tell. There are a couple of stories that I haven't had a chance to tell yet, and I try to let the story dictate the medium in which it's told. There is a romantic comedy, a movie that I'm working on a script for now. There are a couple more comic book stories I would love to tell. At a certain point in my life, I wanted to be a prose writer, a fiction writer, but I think I'm more suited toward dramatic writing, where people speak in dialogue and where it's on camera or on stage. I'd love to go back to doing stage work. But for me, it's all about what's the next story and how best to tell that story.
Yeah. No, you said you wanted to go back to stage.
Yeah.
Wow. Would you expound upon that?
Well, I'm working on, there are two stage musicals that I'm working on writing. And in terms of performing, I'm actually producing 2 records in Nashville at the moment, and then working on an EP of singer-songwriter stuff that when it's good enough, I'll be able to go into a studio with a couple of my favorite producers, and I'll be performing that stuff too.
That's right. You're a singer. You
used
got
to be,
your start with Miss Janice Bay.
Here in Tulsa,
Booker T.
Oklahoma.
Washington
I sure
Park?
did.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but that's, unfortunately, there isn't as much time for that stuff as I would like, because it's mostly for fun and for me. But yeah, I hope at some point to be performing again. That'd be fun.
Now, you have actually come back to Tulsa to more or less motivate, inspire young people at Webster High School that are in the journalism, broadcasting, and media. What advice do you have for them?
Well, it's very kind of you to say. I hope that in sharing my experience, I am able to give them ideas about different ways they can, live their lives and have what they, be who they want to be, essentially. The advice I would give is don't wait. Don't wait for somebody to discover you. Generate your own work. If you have a vision, if you're an artist with your own vision, if you're an actor, if you're a dramatist, write plays, write short movies that you and your friends can film and put on YouTube so that people can see them. That's the most important thing, is to connect with your audience, because if you are supplying a unique vision, something that people want, it doesn't matter if it comes from Tulsa, Oklahoma, it doesn't matter that it's on YouTube. If you connect with people, people are going to want it. They're going to want to pay you to make more of it. So I would say don't wait, don't ask permission. Do it.
Just
Write it, sing it, perform it. Make sure it's getting out there and connecting with your audience, because that's the most important thing. And I would say keep studying. Watch as much as you can, read as much as you can, learn as much as you can, learn from your elders here in town, from people who are more experienced. Take every opportunity. It was frustrating for me being a high schooler and a junior high person in Tulsa, because I felt like I didn't have the power to actualize my dreams. But in fact, looking back on it now, I was able to do it. I worked professionally while I was here, and there was nobody who could stop me. I was working at the high school level. I was working at the amateur theater level.
You were doing commercials.
I was doing commercials.
Wow, you were just stepping outside the box.
Well, and now with the internet, people don't have to wait for somebody else to give them permission. You can generate your own content. And in truth, in this new economy, the content generator is the person with all the power. So if you've got the vision and if you have the means to sort of put it out there, if it connects with people, you can write your own ticket.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Now, what shows do you TiVo?
My favorite show of the last 5 years, and maybe of all time, is Friday Night Lights, which is on DirecTV and on NBC. It is an extraordinary show about life in a sort of small town in Texas, and ostensibly it's about the high school football team there, but it's really a larger relationship and character show about family in the largest sense too. This high school community and family, and this larger Dillon, Texas community and family. It's extraordinary.
What's on your iPod?
My iPod,
yes.
music-wise, I'm a pop music obsessive. I listen to
Like?
All kinds of stuff. I listen to what's currently on the charts. I confess to having a love of Justin Bieber at this point.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
There was a young man just doing the Justin Bieber dance.
Oh, really?
Teaching some kids, and I was like, wow.
But that's a perfect
really?
example of what I'm talking about. That's a kid with a voice who didn't ask anybody's permission. He put it out there, and the world responded in a big way. But I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. I like a lot of
Lady
the bands
Gaga
that are out
with
there.
the meat dress on?
The meat dress, I was not a huge, I wouldn't wear it myself,
Yeah.
but on her, I thought it looked okay.
It looked okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my dog would love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. My dog would too.
If there was anything that you can change about your path that you've so far, is there anything?
No, I don't think I would have changed anything about the path. I think I would have been a little less hard on myself. I think I was a perfectionist, and it mattered so much to me, every step of it. High school was so high pressure. Getting into a good college, everything, every little moment, it felt like I could make a misstep and just fall off at any point. And now looking back, I just wish that I had I'd allowed myself to enjoy it a little bit more. Looking back, if my 10-year-old self or 11-year-old self could see, what I'm able to do now, just to go to have the job that I have now, I don't know if he would believe it, and I wish I could whisper in his ear and say, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay, right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I was so busy trying to get out.
Was there a pressure of being from maybe an analytical family? I know I came from an analytical family of like, you need to do something practical,
right.
But you don't study that, was there that type of feeling going on?
There was a little bit. Most of the pressure was self-imposed. There was, both my parents are doctors, and they were very concerned, as you are when you're a parent, that your kid's going to be able to grow up and take care of himself when you're not able to. So they really wanted me to go to medical school or law school because, understandably, when a 10-year-old kid says, I want to be on Broadway and that's how I'm going to live my life and, make my way and my income, that's a scary thing to come out of a 10-year-old's mouth, and I could not be dissuaded. There was never a moment where I didn't have 100% certainty that I was going to become a writer and a singer and an actor and a producer, and I don't know how I got away with it. I honestly don't. Yeah. But no, the pressure was mostly self-imposed because I wanted to be able to support myself doing what I love doing. And I've been really blessed and really, really fortunate to have parents who, in the terrifying face of that, supported me the whole time. And teachers, too, I have to say. My teachers, too.
Are you awestruck by any actor or actress?
I am. There are a couple of actors that I would really, really love to work with, and I've been fortunate enough to work with actors who are so talented and so collaborative that I'm deeply in love with them and would work with them at any point. The Sex and the City cast was incredible. The Grey's Anatomy cast is incredible. Gilmore Girls, all the shows that I've worked on. The actors have been extraordinarily gifted, really talented and capable of things I didn't even know they were capable of when I joined the shows, and also collaborative enough so that I can sit down with Patrick Dempsey on set and put my laptop on both of our labs, and we can build a scene together. If a scene isn't working, we can tear it down and start over and come up with something that tells a story, but in a way that makes him comfortable. It's a real treat to work on that level with actors and to be as involved in the process as we're able to be.
Is there anyone you would like to work with?
In the future?
Yeah,
oh, I would love to continue working with everybody. And yeah, if these shows end up happening, I would hope that there would be a steady stream of guest stars, not just from Grey's Anatomy, but also from Sex and the City and from Friday Night Lights. And I've done what I can to bring the cast of Friday Night Lights onto Grey's Anatomy. So I assume I'm going to be doing the same thing.
Right.
And then there are people like Emma Thompson, who I have always admired, who's an extraordinary writer and an extraordinary screenwriter as well. Somebody like, she's been a role model and somebody I would love to work with for a long time. So,
will you please come back to Tulsa?
I would love to come back to Tulsa.
Would you hang out with me?
Absolutely.
As the Urban Griot, we can just hang out in Tulsa?
And yes, we can do all that. I hope that we can spend more time doing that.
Well, thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for having me. It was great fun talking to you.
And thank you for coming back.
Thank you for your questions.
And we enjoyed having Allan Heinberg, one of Tulsa's favorite son. He's just fabulous. That's all I can say. Thank you for joining us for Urban Griot. I'm Rebecca. I'm out.